And then officially, I'll start the May 14th Bicycle Pedestrian Committee meeting. That is a subcommittee of parking and transportation. We typically meet, we've been recently meeting in hybrid, and we have one member in person. We have a representative from FNT in person, and then we have all the rest of the committee members on Zoom. So I see that Sean Condon is here, Donna Oscalia, and Brent are here. So I think we always start with public comment. So I think we'll go ahead and start with that. If anybody has a public comment, we can open that, raise your virtual hand, or if there's anybody. So I'll start, I guess, virtually. If there's anybody on Zoom that would like to make a comment. Okay, I see David Rosenmiller. If you'd like to, you're already unmuted. Go ahead.
Sure. Actually, this is a couple of questions. Is that okay? They're about timing. I'm curious about, because I'm sort of new to this process, the timing of when the minutes from the previous meetings are available. So that's one. And then the other is just about the timing of, from a cyclist standpoint of, this is really just coming from curiosity, not pressure, but pothole paving and road sweeping, especially on the sides of the roads where there are bike lanes.
Okay, thank you. I can just quickly respond to the minutes. And typically, just so you know, for public comment, it's not a back and forth, but it's just sort of a comment. I can certainly answer any questions, outside of meetings if people have questions about process or, for example, timing. But just to briefly answer the minutes question, I did not get to the minutes this meeting, and we try to post them as soon as they've been adopted. It's not immediately after the meeting, but it has to go back to the committee for approval before they get posted. These, and I didn't mention when we started, this Northampton Open Media likes to keep video of all the public meetings for however long they see fit. So these recordings always go to Northampton Open Media. Okay, any other public comments? Okay, so I think we just have updates from both DPW and planning. So I don't know if Donna, if you have an update you want to go ahead and address, that would be great.
Yep, sure. Hi, everyone. Just a couple of comments about our paving. So I know everyone's kind of anxiously awaiting some movement. So we have a slug of projects in the pipeline that I am about to put out to bid. So I think we announced that we're paving more than 20 streets. Or we asked for funding to pave more than 20 streets. Some of those projects have utility considerations. Some of those projects actually have gas conflicts with Eversource, meaning Eversource needs to, dig something up before we can actually pave. So we are gonna move as many of these forward as we can if there are no utility conflicts and no Eversource conflicts. So I will be making an announcement probably in the next couple of weeks about what the timing's going to look like, but I expect probably roughly half of what we announced we were going to pave to go out to bid in the next couple of weeks. We also have a pretty large sidewalk reconstruction project, portions of State Street, both sides of Bedford Terrace, and then Route 9 on all the way from Cooley Dickinson Hospital down to the high school, as well as a section of Florence Road, all the way from Ryan Road up to Florence Heights. Those sidewalks are going to be reconstructed. So we're going to be quite busy this summer. I also have the gas company in the city, and they are going to be doing restoration on a lot of their projects from last year. So They're responsible for some pretty terrible trenches on Bridge Street and primarily in Ward 3. So their paving contractor is going to mobilize probably within the next 2 months. So there's going to be a lot of pavement going down over the summer. And then just to address David's question, I have significant staffing considerations in the DPW right now. I'm missing about 30% of my workforce. So, everything we're doing is delayed. So I am working on, safety issues. So safety issues are, car swallowing potholes, sinkholes, utility problems. So things like street sweeping, unfortunately get bumped when we're dealing with the staffing constraints that I've got right now. So those are my updates. Thank you.
Thanks, Donna. So I just have a couple of updates that I'll just follow up on from our office. Some of them actually cross over a little bit into the DPW realm. But the first one is that what's today, Wednesday? I think I made this announcement over the last couple of meetings that we're to begin the construction of the Rocky Hill Greenway Phase 1 project shortly. We now know we're doing a pre-construction meeting on Friday, which I hope that means the contractors will be mobilizing. The first work will be tree removal on Route 66 before they go into the woods. And they'll be really mostly working this summer, I think, off-road before they come back out to Route 66 to finish up that section. And hopefully by our meeting in June, we'll have seen some of that work actually underway. The second is I think probably most of you were at the breakfast this morning, so the mayor made a lot of these announcements, but we're not sure yet the timing for the ad date, but the MassDOT is moving closer to construction design completion of the shared use path on Mount Tom Road. It still won't start construction until next year, likely, but they're closing in on that. So that's sort of moving outside of any local process, because that's a Mass DOT initiated project. So they're sort of on their own timeline. We don't have any say or control over that. Not that we ever would, but it's just to say that every once in a while we get notice of, okay, this is moving forward. So just wanted to let you know about that. The other piece that part of the work and the impact that we've seen recently with all these rains are that we're having culverts being overwhelmed, which has required DPW to close some streets for through traffic. What's interesting is the most recent one is Old Wilson Road, which where the Pine Grove Golf Course is. We had been planning and had initiated conversations with the community immediately surrounding with the idea that we might consider closing that permanently and just making a pedestrian and bicycle through way on Old Wilson Road. And so the idea was to design that as an access, sort of two dead ends where people could park to access Pine Grove, but there would be a pedestrian connection over the stream. And the idea was in the future, we'd be not only reducing risk to the city with these undersized culverts and our increasing storm events that affect those. Now we're in a situation where those increased storm events are happening today. And so unexpectedly, that road is now temporarily shut to through traffic. And we don't know when that will be opened up again, but it's sort of running the course ahead of our design schedule. So there are other locations in the city where we're thinking about that, and sort of that, provides an opportunity to have a little bit of a safer pedestrian and bicycle space in those areas that aren't used for cut throughs anymore. So I think that's all I have on the planning front. Although if someone thinks I'm missing something, feel free to ask. It's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks. So that's all I have, and I'd be willing to, open it up for other items from other committee members, if anybody has anything they want to talk about. All right. See lots of hands. Well, if nothing else, I guess what I'll do is actually, why don't I turn to you, Gary, and I'll have you introduce yourself. I think thought the camera was on. I'm having a difficult time. I'm going to turn it to, let's see what happens when we turn to a gallery. Oh. That's very strange. But anyway, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my name is Gary Langley, and I'm a recent addition to the FNT Board of Directors. And they asked if I would be interested in being the liaison between FNT and this subcommittee, which I agreed to do. So this is my first meeting here. And I'm just here to introduce myself and to kind of see what the flow is like and what this is all about. So,
Great.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. And this is, our meetings aren't always very long, but this is certainly a shorter one. And also we don't have all members, and sometime
Right.
during the summer, as you mentioned, that, people go on vacation. So we don't always have a full complement of the board. So, well, great. If nobody has anything else, I will go ahead and ask for a vote to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Thanks, Sean. Is there a second?
Yeah, I can second.
Thank you. And I'll have to do a roll call for this. Or actually, I don't think we have to do it on adjournment, but I'll do it anyway. Sean?
Yes.
Donna?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes. Happy bike week.
And thanks. Yeah, get back to the bike week. And I vote yes as well. Thanks. All right. See you guys next time. Thanks.